Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to be chatting through all the books that I'd like to read in the month of June. Not me being winded just from saying that sentence. I am sick if you can't tell, so breathing and talking together at the same time is very difficult, but I don't want to delay this video too much, and I don't sound the most disgusting, I don't think, and today's actually the day I felt the best so far since I've been sick. This is like my second time being really sick in May, so let's hope June is a healthier month because it is an extremely busy month for me. So first of all, I'm house sitting for 3 different people, like basically all of June. So starting on the 1st, I'm cat sitting for a couple of days for a friend, and then I'm cat sitting for my parents for like 2 weeks, and then I'm cat sitting for my aunt for like 2 weeks. So it's like, gosh dang, there is a lot of cat sitting going on, which means I should hopefully get a lot of audiobook listening done. So without further ado, let's get into the TBR. I will tell you now, May is probably the worst reading month I've ever had in my entire life ever. I read next to nothing, so I am basically doubling how many books I read in May in June. Like, this is how many books I want to read. I want to read like about 10 books, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to start off with obligation reads. I do want to give a quick shout out to a book I actually read in May, but I needed to have read in June, basically, and that is The Heart Goes Last by Margaret Atwood. This is my in-person book club pick for June, so I actually already got this book done on the very last day of May, but this is our June pick, so it's been done, but just wanted to give it a little shout out. Oh my gosh. So I'm participating in Brandy Sandy along with the besties, and I'm terrified of our next pick, and that's The Way of Kings. It's gonna happen, people. I'm actually going to be reading this in June, and I'm so absolutely terrified. I think I'm going to like it, though, because the Cosmere, or no, not the Cosmere, the Mistborn series, Era 1 did not like. Era 2, really fun. And I hated Warbreaker, I hated Elantris, so I'm hoping this is like Brando Sando's comeback for me. So I'm looking forward to this one, even though this book is like a Bible. I mean, this book is so long. This is definitely going to be the longest book I've ever read. It clocks in if you like just take in the story without any of the extra things. It is literally 1,001 pages of story. So I'm scared. I'm terrified of this book. I've been terrified of this book in this series for years. I've bought them all. They're just sitting there mocking me, waiting for me to read it. But Brandy Sandy Long is going to keep me held accountable for this series, and I will be starting it in June. I hope to get the whole book done in June, but with the way my reading has been going, I feel like I'm just not reading very quickly, so we'll just see how it goes, but hopefully I can read it in the whole month. Next up is a book I screamed and cried and threw up a little and just had a complete and utter happy meltdown over receiving, and that is This Ravenous Fate by Haley Dennings. I'm so excited, and I can't believe this book is in my hands. Like, oh my gosh! So, this book doesn't come out until August, but I'm just way too excited about this book to not read it sooner rather than later, and I feel like the reading mood is starting to come back to me, so I'm hoping in June I can get my little grubby paws on this book and get it read. Because my goal is to make a dedicated vlog for this book and talk to you about all my non-spoilery thoughts. Is that what I meant to say? Yeah, non-spoilery thoughts. Yeah, I think that's what I think it meant. What? My brain is not functioning. So I'm really excited for this book. As you obviously know, I've been gushing about this book since I've heard about it, and I'm just so excited to read it. So I am very much looking forward to reading this. I read the first page of the prologue and I'm already obsessed. So I just know this book is gonna be everything my heart and hopes and everything. It's gonna make my life, basically. That's a lot of pressure for just one book, but I'm just saying, I think I'm gonna absolutely love it. The next book I'd like to get to is one that is actually for a video project that I really would like to finish because it's the last book for that video, and I'd really like to get that video done in June. It was supposed to come out in May, but we all know May was not a good month for me. So I need to read Jade City by Fonda Lee. I am curious about this one. I've heard nothing but pretty good things about this book for the most part. I think very few people have disliked this story. So I'm not too sure exactly what it's about, but I definitely will tell you more in that video and in my wrap up and all that. But I'm curious how it'll go. This kind of reminds me of like an action movie. Like what I've heard about this book is that it reads very much like an action-packed thriller kind of movie, which sounds intriguing. So we'll see how it goes if I get around to it. I mean, I'm hoping to get that video project done in June, but if that book just does not sound good, I'm not going to force it. That actually goes for all these books. If none of these sound good or I don't want to read any of them, I'm just not going to, you know? But these are just like hopefuls. That's why I call it a hopeful list instead of a TBR, because these are not books that I will read. They're books I might. I'm kind of hoping to read, you know? And the last couple of books I have to mention are books that I just like to get to in the month. So the next one is You Know What You Did by KT Nguyen. And this is for the Literally Dead book club pick, but most importantly, it's to support Jenny, who's going to be on the live show with Kayla, and I'm just so excited for her. She's absolutely amazing, and I am just here to support Jenny because Jenny is the best. So very much looking forward to reading this one. I don't know too much about it. I think it's a thriller or a horror, but looking forward to reading it. I just got the ebook copy from the library in, so I will be reading this at some point before it goes back. And let's actually talk about the other library books that I have checked out. So I only have ebooks and audiobooks checked out right now because my in-person library actually opens tomorrow, June 1st. It's been closed for approximately 11 months, getting remodeled, and I'm hoping I feel better tomorrow and my mom and I can actually go and see the new library. There's going to be a used bookstore and a cafe, and it's completely redone, and it's going to be amazing. But anyways, so library books. So I have You Know What You Did, and then I also have Bloom by Delilah Dawson because all the besties have been talking about this book on Discord, and I gotta read this. It sounds unhinged, and I admittedly have read some spoilers for this book, but they're so out of context that I don't even know like what that even means, you know? So I guess excited to read this. I have no clue what to expect. It sounds insane, and it's super short. I got the ebook for it the other day, and we'll see how it goes. This actually isn't a library book, but another book that I'd kind of like to get to is Blood Solace, which is book 2 in the Blood Mercy series. I loved Blood Mercy when I read it, so I really want to continue with this series and not let too much time pass between books. This one I'm really looking forward to, and I do have the audiobook for it, so I may do like a combo read of following along in the ebook and listening to it, which I just love to do. So we'll try to get to it this month, but if it don't sound good, I ain't gonna read it. Alright, 2 more library books that I have audiobooks for because I know I'm gonna be listening to a ton of audiobooks this month because of all the cat sitting I'm gonna be doing. So the first audiobook that I have checked out is A Step Past Darkness by Vera Curran. I have been wanting to read this book since I received a copy, and I finally got the audiobook in from Libby, so I will be listening to this one. I absolutely loved this author's debut book, which was Never Saw Me Coming, I think, or something like that. Actually, I don't know if that was the title. I actually don't know. You can look it up, but I absolutely loved that book. And I've been really excited to read this one because it sounds dark academia-esque, and I'm always down for that. So really looking forward to this one, and I should be able to listen to this in June. Another exciting new release that I just literally got the audiobook for like just a few minutes before filming this video is Funny Story by Emily Henry. And this is going to sound real dramatic, but I'm kind of calling this book my last and final chance for Emily Henry's books because I've been buying and reading her books as they come out for the most part, and I've read I think every book she's published, and I don't like them. Like, I think there's one book that I really loved from her, but otherwise I'm just not a fan. So I'm just gonna say this is gonna be my last chance with this author, and then I'm not gonna be buying her books anymore. If I do still want to read them when they come out, I'm just gonna have to get them from the library. But I'm curious about this one. It sounds real hecka messy, and that sounds kind of fun, to be honest. And I think I'm looking at the list behind you on my computer. I think this is the final book that I would like to get to in June. Again, if I don't get to any of these, that's fine, but they're just kind of books that I have checked out and read-alongs and things. So the last one I have is House of Earth and Blood by Sarah Janet. This is the first book in the Crescent City series, and I have technically read this book, but it's been so long that I literally have scrubbed this whole book from memory, besides the one very memorable thing that happens at the beginning of the book. So I will be listening to this one on audio because I find that her books are more manageable to me on audio rather than reading them with my eyes. So like I said, I do have a ton of audiobook listening time this month, so reading this whole thing on audio is not the craziest thing, you know? So that's basically it for my TBR. Let's hope I can actually get some good reading done this month. Like, I know quality over quantity is the goal, but even last month, like, looking at the books that I read in May, the quality was not the best. I mean, I had a 2-star, a 1-star, 2 4-stars, and a 5-star. So, I mean, it could be worse. But, like, what a range, you know? So, I will save, obviously, all my thoughts on those books in my May wrap-up, which is literally going to be like a 5-minute video because I only have 5 books to talk about. But let's hope that June is better. I feel better mentally. I'm starting to feel better physically. I've just been like sick a lot during May, which is not fun. First of all, it was allergies, and then I'm like actually sick. So it's not been a great time. So hoping June we can turn it around because it's going to be very busy and we want to get all the reading done, you know? So that is going to be it. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with me for a little bit. Let me know of any books that you would like to get to in the month of June, as I would love to know, and I will see you all in another video soon. Goodbye!